Okay, in this tutorial we're going to set up what we call the sprites for our game. Now the sprites are the images that you'll have in your game. We don't want the cat image, so we're going to right click on the cat and delete it. And we're going to create 3 sprites. The sprites we're going to create will be the ball, the bat and the floor. So down in the right hand side here we go to paint a new sprite. And the first sprite we're going to do is the ball. So I'm going to select a circle and I'm going to make sure that it's solid, so it's that one that's clicked, and I'm going to make my ball black, so I'm going to click that black one there. Now what I can do here is I can hold down the shift key, which is the little arrow key that you use for capital letters, whilst I drag the ball out. What that will do is it will draw a perfect circle for me. Now don't worry too much about the size, try and get it similar to mine as you can, but we can change that size later on. So I've drawn out my ball, and the last thing we want to do is we need to click on this little set costume center button. Now if I click on it, you can see that our crosshair goes into the middle of our sprite, and that's really important that you do that before you click OK. Once you click OK, we can see that we've got our little sprite down here now on near our stage, but it's called Sprite 1, and it's important we do name these properly. So up in the top here I can change where it says Sprite 1 to ball, something more appropriate, and press enter, and then we can see that that sprite name changes. Okay, the next sprite that we want to create is the bat, so paint new sprite. Now the bat, this time we're going to use the rectangle, make it solid, and for the bat colour I'm going to make mine blue. You can choose whatever colour bat you would like. I'm not holding the shift key down this time because I want a rectangle, not a square, but I'm going to draw out my bat. It needs to obviously be a little bit bigger than the ball, if you can remember roughly on your screen, and that will be fine. And again, remember to click set costume center, click OK, and then name this sprite bat and press enter. Okay, and the final sprite that I'd like you to set up is the floor sprite. So click on paint new sprite. Now this time I'm going to try and zoom right out on my page so I can get this sprite to be as big as possible. And again, a rectangle, again solid. I'm going to make my floor red, and I'm going to draw out from the very edge to the other edge the floor, nice and thin this time, but right the way across. And then set the costume center, and then click OK. Now you can see now in our stage that we've got our sprites, and on our stage this is where we can move them. Oops, I just need to name that one as well. We'll call that one floor. Press enter. We can move them into position. So for example, the floor I want right at the bottom here, and we want the bat below the ball. And of course, if the ball is a little bit too big, what you can do is make sure you're on the ball by clicking it there, and then you can shrink or you can grow. So we'll shrink that one, and then what we can do is keep shrinking it down, keep clicking on the ball until it's small enough to bounce off our bat in our game. Okay, so that's the end of this video. Make sure you go and create the 3 sprites now, remembering to set the costume center and also to name them.